personally. It's awesome.
Okay, hey everybody, it's been a while since we've done one of these. This is a final save cast episode for July 29th of 2017, and we're all in flying cars.
Yes, we are. We are in the future.
We're in the future.
Yeah, Doc.
Marty, it's about your kids.
What, they turned into assholes or something?
Anyways, today we got some subjects. It's been a slow season since E3, so we picked and choose a couple things here and there. Mm-hmm. And as always, we start with what you've been playing, Joe.
All right. I've been playing, of course, a lot of Warframe, and I will always say best free-to-play game ever. I've been trying so hard to get through Super Metroid, though. I am almost done with it. Probably only maybe like an hour left with the way I play and everything. I'm liking it more and more as I go along. There's still some problems with it, but I can kind of see where some people would say it is one of the greatest games of all time.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just after playing M2R or whatever, another Metroid 2 remake. I feel like the controls are kind of floaty on Super Metroid. That's like my biggest problem, where I feel like they tightened it up a lot more. Like the platforming felt a lot better in another Metroid 2 remake. But otherwise, it's really good. I like it a lot. There's just they have pickups for everything in Super Metroid. It's kind of insane.
Yeah, Super Metroid atmospherically.
I love the music.
It blows me away atmospherically for it being a 16-bit game. Mm-hmm. It draws me in a way that I don't feel like I was drawn in to that particular level until much later games with more detail, like PS2 and stuff like that.
Right.
And it just it sets a tone that no other game had until that point. Oh, I had to type that because I had run a podcast today.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, the atmosphere's great. I also because I play using headphones and everything. Mm-hmm. I'm surprised how well the stereo sound actually works in that game. They did a really good job.
Go back and play a lot of Super Nintendo games with headphones on, and you will be shocked how good the stereo separation is. Mm-hmm. One game that had really good audio engineering, just from a sound point. I want to say it was called like Indiana Jones Adventures or Indiana Jones something. There was an Indiana Jones game that LucasArts did on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
And they actually mixed it in Dolby Surround on the Super Nintendo. And even on stereo, it sounds awesome. It sounds really good. The Star Wars games always had really good sounding.
Yes, they did have really good sound.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something because it always comes down to the classic argument between the Genesis and Super Nintendo, and I love the sound for the Genesis. Maybe because it has a little bit more signature sound to me than the Super Nintendo.
It has that bass kick drum hit that sounds like you can tell it's kind of like a bass drum, and also sometimes it sounds like somebody farted in a tin can. You can't really make it out.
But yeah, it's that very electronic bass kick.
Yeah.
But the Super Nintendo definitely had the better sound mixing for sure. Mm-hmm. I've been amazing just hearing the sounds coming from over here and over there, and the music working its way back and forth between the ears. It's really good, really well done.
I kind of always felt like that depended on the game, though.
It probably does. I mean, most things in video gaming, as we've learned, it just kind of depends on how much time you put with your development and everything.
As far as Super Nintendo goes, by far, Super Nintendo has really good sound, and Super Castlevania 4 is still to this day it's got a couple tracks in it, and I'm just this is coming from a cart. Mm-hmm. It's 4 megabytes in size. What the hell? Right. But it's at the same time, I would say out of overall better music in the Castlevania series is probably was it Bloodlines on Genesis?
Oh yes,
because it just has an awesome beat that just goes. Where the Super Nintendo had cool stuff. It had very jazzy beats, which were strange for Castlevania.
Right.
And I love that one where stalactites and it's just the little harp string going off, and that sounds really cool to me. That's still one of my favorites. But man, Bloodlines just is it was badass. The soundtrack on that was badass. So yeah, anything else you've been playing?
I think I beat Wolfenstein New Order since last time we talked.
Okay, what'd you think?
And it is really good. I will say this because maybe you and me we do like we have a lot of the same humor, but there's certain things that don't cross. I felt there was a lot of stuff that you found really funny in that game. I felt was actually very serious.
Uh-huh.
Like the love scene and everything. Like you thought it was kind of funny. I actually felt like it was a heartfelt moment in that game and one of the few. But it does definitely go off the rails later in the game, and I do love it. It is definitely over the top in a lot.
To me, what was funny about it was like, hey, I just killed a bunch of guys. Let's fuck. It's just like it was kind of like it led right into it, you know? Like,
right.
Very, very serious. It's like, oh, we were in a trunk all day together, and now we're out. Let's have sex.
Like to me, it almost was more like they're going through all this. They're going through all this crap, and the whole world's gone to shit. And these are the two people that they kind of know each other, and that they just needed that moment together. But I mean, it's still it was a really, really great game. I am so looking forward to the new one. It looks fantastic. I love how they're carrying over like that power suit thing that they have into the next one, and I love BJ's. He does have a little bit of a sense of humor. It's very dry, but I love it.
Yeah. So yeah, BJ's pretty cool. Unfortunate name, but anyways, did you play Old Blood yet?
Of course, I played that actually first.
Oh, okay. Yeah, see, Old Blood, I think, fixed a lot of problems I had with New Order. Let alone that the engine ran way better.
It does, yeah, it did. And you can tell they upped some of the effects and stuff too. It did look better. That was one thing, like going from that game to New Order. I always screw up the new. I'm like New Blood, Old Order, but they like some of the effects, like the specular shine, and probably I think they started using a little bit more of physical based rendering a tad bit. They were messing around with that a little bit more in Old Blood, where they didn't in New Order. But overall, I mean, both go really well together.
Yeah, my thing with it was I can see kind of like an evolution of where id was going, and even though id didn't make those Machine Games did. They obviously picked up some things, because if you play the New Order, there's that scene where you're in Old Wolfenstein, which is apparently still canon in that game.
Yeah, somehow it is, yeah.
Yeah. So Mecha Hitler happened.
I guess then, even like, what was it, 2009 Wolfenstein?
Yeah, that's the thing, is this is actually a direct sequel to Wolfenstein's 2009 that was on Xbox 360. But then they call the one after this Wolfenstein 2.
Yeah, I know. It is kind of funny.
That kind of is weird to me.
New Colossus. Whatever.
Yeah.
We'll use the same.
It's still got the 2 on it, and it's technically 3. But
yeah, kind of.
Whatever. So, 4? Anyways. But you can see, like, and then it's like, is it 4? Because of the older Wolfenstein games. And he had the old Apple Wolfenstein games. Did those happen? I don't know. So anyways, but you can see like in Old Blood how it went from that, and then they started introducing like the old school levels in every level of Old Blood, and then that went from Doom to where Doom now it's like actually integrated into the level.
Like I would love them to actually like re-release like Doom and Wolfenstein rendered the way they render it in those games.
I 100% agree, because it's really hard to go back and play those in DOSBox now.
It is really hard. I also just going back and first person. We talk about this stuff all the time, like stuff like holding up and like how it feels to go back and play. Like it's just that just back and forth type shooting or whatever just feels so weird now.
Yeah, especially when you had those old shooters that really the mouse didn't do much. Like a lot of them, they were still using like the arrow keys and stuff. Right.
Yeah, you were playing that. You're using the arrow keys to move around and everything. It was weird. Like I remember playing like old Quake and stuff and using the arrow keys, and then like one day a game like had WASD as its default. I'm like, oh my god, why have I not done this before? It's so much better.
Yeah, the thing is for me is it would be really cool if they would re-release that, but at the same time, it's also the reason why like I went back and played the first Dark Forces. And I had a really hard time on PC. I just went and put the PlayStation disc in, and I felt like that was a better control scheme and everything for the type of game that it was back then.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
If you can, though, for anybody, I believe it's Jedi Outcast or it might be Jedi Academy. There is a mod to play Dark Forces. They
Really?
totally redid the game in that engine, and it is pretty good.
I didn't think that got finished.
Last I knew, it was finished, or at least really, really close.
Oh, really? I'll have to try that out. All right. I might have to do that on stream one day then. That sounds pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So is that it?
Yeah, I haven't been playing too much.
Yeah, same here. Been busy with other things. So as far as what I've been playing pretty much here on the stream. I've been playing, what is the name of that? I'm gonna space out now.
Oh, yeah.
Odalis Dark Call. I started playing that again on my own time.
Mm-hmm.
I also went back and started playing Hyper Light Drifter a little bit, just for my own, when I'm in the bedroom or in the living room or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, everything else I've been going through and playing through Super Mario World, because that was always a rental game to me. I never had a Super Nintendo that had Super Mario World with it. And so I never finished Super Mario World. Yeah, because the story goes is when I got a Super Nintendo as a kid, is one of those weird situations where they had like the two bundles. They had the regular Super set that had the two controllers in the game that everybody else had, and then they had the shitty core bundle with one controller, and it was just like an RF out or something like that.
Right.
So we had a TV that could only do RF. That's how old our TV was. And then my brother got it for me for my birthday, but it was like a huge difference. It was like, $60 or $80 between the two, or something like that. It was literally cheaper to get that and pick up a game. So we ended up getting that, and Star Fox was my first Super Nintendo game.
Oh, okay.
So I never had Super Mario World. I just rented it. So I'm going back and playing it now and trying to beat it. And I think we're on World 4 right now. And
Nice.
I've been doing a little series on the stream and recording it and putting it over on my VidMe channel, just to kind of say like fuck you to YouTube.
Right.
Because VidMe don't care. So that's been fun, and I think people enjoy it. We also did almost an entire playthrough of Super Castlevania 4 one sitting.
Nice.
And then the net crapped out right when I was like fighting Dracula.
Sucks.
Yeah, so I'm like at the very end. I just need to finish it up and whatnot. But yeah, that was pretty cool. Going back and playing those, and then been playing the new Titanfall download, or the new update.
Oh, right, yeah, I need to get the Horde mode, right?
Yeah, it's actually really fun this time.
Nice, I'll have to try
really
that.
good.
We'll have to play on a stream sometime together.
Yeah, sure. And let's see, played that. Been playing some H1 and stuff. Did a stream yesterday. Did a stream before that on my birthday, which was
Nice. Yep.
a week ago. And other than that, that's pretty much all I've been doing, is just playing games online. The new Lawbreakers beta's out.
Yes, it's going right now, currently.
Yeah, and I really like it. It has issues. I have not been able to hook up with friends because it does the weird thing where they're offline.
Oh, really? Wow. I mean, last beta, I liked it a lot, and then the Friends thing actually worked super well there. So I haven't played a new one yet.
So this was last night. I don't know if it's been patched to be fixed. I'm really tempted to get it though. Like, the price is right. It's only $30.
Right. Because
yeah,
don't pay $60 for only multiplayer bullshit.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cliffy.
Yeah. So, I actually really like the game. I think it's really fun.
It is really fun.
Yeah, it to me is like, after having played it and after it's been balanced, and especially the gravity part. The gravity part was my biggest issue for a while. The gravity is balanced to the point now where I really enjoy it and think it's cool. I feel like I can move around in it pretty freely, and it offers something that's not been done in a FPS before.
Nice.
The classes are really fun, so I really like them. So that's pretty much what I've been playing. So let's dive right into Netflix shit. Castlevania.
Yeah.
I've been playing Castlevania.
What?
Or watching Castlevania.
Yeah, I'm watching.
Yeah, it's 4 episodes.
Yeah, it is definitely. I think someone said it is the most bingiest game. God, I keep saying that. Show on Netflix, because you seriously can. You just sit down and watch it. It's the length of a movie, the whole thing.
Yeah.
But it is awesome. It's brutal, but I also feel like it keeps decent with the canon, but it's beautiful. This the studio that does it, I can't remember their name. This is like their only thing they've done.
Yeah.
Like they've done some like commercials and stuff, but they get this and they just knock it out of the park first try.
It's awesome. It follows Castlevania 3 to a T.
Yeah, it does.
Like the only thing that's been driving me nuts about watching other people's opinions of it, and the one that drove me the absolute fucking nuts was freaking GameSpot.
Oh,
I watched their thing on it. They don't even know what the characters are in the different games and stuff. They have no clue. They have no reason to be talking about it at all.
yeah, like he makes reference to like not by name, but he makes reference to like Leon and the other Belmonts, like the ones that came from him and stuff. And I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, but it's like they were like talking about it on there, and it's like, who is this? Oh, this is this Simon? No, this isn't Simon. This is Trevor. What was Trevor in? Oh, Trevor was in Castlevania 3, and he was also in Rondo of Blood. No, he fucking wasn't. It's like, you work in a video game outlet? Are you fucking serious? And you don't know
your shit. Like, I've only somewhat played the Castlevanias. Not the biggest fan of them. Like, honestly, Metroidvania type gameplay is either a hit or a miss with me, because it can be really infuriating having to backtrack and stuff. So like Castlevanias, I've kind of been putting off, and like I think now that I'm older, like back when they were first out, like that stuff really drove me insane as a kid. So I kind of want to go back to them eventually, but we'll see how that goes.
I think the best Castlevanias, the only ones anybody needs to play, is 1, 3, Super, Bloodlines, and Symphony of the Night.
Probably.
I think those are the only ones that anybody should really play.
Like
the other ones are kind of, yeah. Like the DS ones are good, the Game Boy ones are really good, but they were never on that level. You know what I mean?
Right.
They were fun, like, little time wasters.
Right. I mean, Symphony of the Night is on many, 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 many lists as the greatest video game of all time.
Yeah.
So, and I can understand why after seeing a lot of it and how it plays. And it still feels pretty good, and because of the limitations of the PlayStation and everything, what it did worked really well.
Yeah. It was, God, that game blew me away. And it was just like, that was by itself justification for me to get a PlayStation 1.
Right.
By itself. Like, no other game could have come out, and I would have been happy with that. Because I played so many fucking hours of that game. It was ridiculous. But, let's see, what else? Yeah, so just going back to the Castlevania thing, it's really good. It's got a weird Western anime style from the 80s crossed with like anime stuff.
Right.
They do like that kind of like weird like stop motion stills during fight scenes and stuff like that.
A little bit, yeah.
I like that Trevor's kind of a smart ass.
He is. Now, Richard Armitage, sorry if I screw up that name, but he does a fantastic job voice acting. Yeah. He does pull off that like doesn't give a shit smart ass character very, very well.
Yeah. I like that whole part. They're like, what will you do? Well, I thought I'd come in, get something to drink, eat, get some drink some more, get drunk, go out, watch everybody get killed, sit under a tree and watch everybody get killed or something like that. It's just like, wow, dude.
Yeah. Trevor fucking Belmont.
So, yeah, Castlevania is awesome. If you haven't seen it on Netflix, you need to watch it. It's pretty damn good. I'm excited. It got overwhelming praise from a lot of people, so they're bringing it back. So season 2 will happen. It'll be double the episodes, so it'll be 8 episodes from what I heard. Yeah. I'm excited. It seems cool.
So am I. And then there will be a 3rd season. They actually planned out. I love it that they planned out this whole arc of 3 seasons for it. So
I can understand that the first 2 seasons are kind of Trevor's story. What I'm hoping is season 3 goes on to be like, I don't know, like Symphony of the Night or something like that.
I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe not 3, but if it continues to do well, I can definitely see 4 being Symphony of the Night. Starting that.
Because like, if they do a 3rd, then like, what is it? Are they going straight from Dracula's Curse to Curse of Darkness?
Ooh, I mean, I don't know.
Because that is part of the same story arc.
It is.
Yeah.
That's a great question. They might. Because it definitely seems like they have a lot of respect for the game series. and they've tried to tight. There's been a few things, I guess, continuity-wise that aren't 100% there,
Yeah.
but they're pretty close.
Oh, man. You guys are making me want to play Castlevania 3 tonight. This is awesome. Anyways, let's get into our other
Got
topics.
Got some news.
Yeah. Well, news loosely.
Ish.
All right, this is actually news. Wolf Among Us Season 2.
Yes. Telltale announced, finally, I don't know I can't remember how many years it's been now. Wolf Among Us 2, Wolf Among Us Season 2 will be coming out. I believe they'll be doing a Batman Season 2 eventually was part of that announcement. But, biggest one, Wolf Among Us 2, because I actually, personally, I loved a lot of Telltale games before this, so like Back to the Future, Monkey Island. I respected Walking Dead, but I don't like Walking Dead. I don't like zombies, so I didn't kind of capture me as it did a lot of people. And Wolf Among Us, I believe, was the first game after Walking Dead Season 1.
Yeah.
And I was just blown away. I'm like, this is Telltale at their finest. They're telling this great story of following the Fables comics, of bringing all these classic story characters back to life in modern like New York in their own little neighborhood, and then Big Bad Wolf is the like sheriff of this town.
Yeah.
And just all the murder and like it's very adult and everything. I'm like, holy crap! This to me is what the interactive storytelling genre of video games. This is everything it can do. I just totally blown away.
I like it to me because in a way it's what some of my favorite things about PC at the time was all the Scum V games, games from LucasArts. Right. And this is like a way of modernizing that kind of gameplay and bringing that out and that storytelling. Like back then you kind of had to use your imagination. Now there's like, there's enough technology there. They can like flesh out the characters and hire actors to do it. And you're not like, it's like not left to your imagination anymore, which is, right. I guess you could kind of say is a bad thing, but
yeah,
but
I mean, that's, to me, that's a whole nother argument we can get into. But as someone fleshing out everything from their own imaginations, Wolf Among Us, was so good. I love the noir, that really noir style, and like their use of purples and yellows together, like the contrasting and that, and really capturing that comic book feel in that game.
They do have the comic book style down for a while now.
They have. But I mean, Walking Dead was the first one really to do it, but Wolf Among Us perfected it, in my opinion.
I just wish more people would demand Back to the Future Season 2.
I would love Season 2 of Back to the Future. But that's the thing, that was like the last game of the old Telltale.
Yeah.
Where it was more classic style adventure game. Where it was actually point and click and everything. But you can see that transition a little bit in Back to the Future. And then Walking Dead was the first one to really go into this new direction of it. You're kind of along this story and you get to choose things, and there isn't as much point and click as there used to be.
I think the problem Back to the Future has really, and it's not the gameplay style or anything, I think it's that Walking Dead was so immensely popular and came out at the right time.
Yeah.
And put them on the map, that if Back to the Future came out after that, it'd be on more people's radars. But you know how it is with like game development and stuff, and just putting these games out there and like the PR cycle. If it didn't happen after a certain cycle, people just don't know about it. It didn't exist.
No, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it'd be cool if like they would take like a lot of their older games and put them like kind of like in a bundle or something, and be like, here's like old Telltale classics or something.
Even though I believe there was kind of a bundle a little while after there, and it was very humble.
Yeah, well, the problem is there's actually a ton of people don't know what Humble Bundle is.
I know, but there's a ton of people who are, and I'm sure they definitely have that crowd base. I would love to see, because Disney needs to do something with all the LucasArts things. I would love them to hey, here's Monkey Island, Telltale, have it back, make us a new Monkey Island game.
Yeah.
I mean, they gave it to Marvel. They let them do the new Marvel stuff too with Guardians of the Galaxy and whatnot. So maybe they will.
So if Telltale was to make a game and it was on your wish list, anything you want, what would you have it be?
I think it would be a new Monkey Island.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I've been thinking about this for a while. You know what
there's a ton of them, but yeah.
Yeah. You know what I think they would do really well? Kingdom Hearts.
Ooh, a Kingdom Hearts spin-off, that'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I almost wouldn't mind. This is weird. I almost wouldn't mind a Wing Commander game from them.
That would be badass. That'd be cool.
It doesn't even necessarily need to have like any of the flight sim stuff in it.
No.
Because as much as I love Wing Commander's flight sim stuff, the thing that it stood out for was its storytelling and the way you interacted with the characters for the time. And I think Telltale could bring that to a new light.
Yeah, and since it's all cartoon anyways, like comic book style.
Yeah, they could go back to the old, that old style, like 1 and 2.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool if they went pixel art.
Oh, that would be sweet. But I don't think they've done a pixel art one.
No, they haven't.
Vector.
No, they haven't. That'd be sweet though. An interactive Wing Commander game done in like the old pixel art. That'd be cool.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So...
Make it happen. Tell Telltale to do this. They'll do anything. Just give them money.
I don't have any. All right. Nidhogg 2 has a Donkey Kong Country / what other game did this? Actually, Yoshi's Island.
Yoshi's Island.
It's more Yoshi's Island style map
screen. I mean, I'm just I love the first Nidhogg, and I think everything that they're doing with Nidhogg 2, like I almost feel like Nidhogg 1, and we see this a lot with these types of games where like that was the concept, that's the proof that they could do it, and Nidhogg 2 is like, hey, we are making a full game around this stupid concept, but it's amazing, and it makes me happy to see like that Mode 7 reference to it. It's great.
I'm just loving the
flying Nidhogg.
Whatever that is, that freaking dragon thing that looks like it's out of what was that Sega game? You know, like the dude that was like hovering, shooting crap.
You talking about Vector Man?
No, old arcade game.
I don't remember.
Fantasy Zone, it was based off Fantasy Zone, I think. See, I remember it started with an H, and now my mind's blanking. This is what happens when you get old, kids.
Yeah, it happens.
Things that you used to be like, and there's probably people screaming, watching this, going, "You fucking idiot! How do you not?"
Every time.
I'm old, okay.
And I probably maybe played it once.
Yeah, you probably were like an infant.
Dude, I think I was like 3 when I got my Sega Genesis. Weirdly, I can still remember it, but
yeah,
I was really young.
Yeah, this looks cool though. I can't wait for Nidhogg 2 to come out.
Oh, it's looking great. I believe a Nidhogg is actually based off of Norse mythology, so it actually is a thing. But it's just totally silly and over the top. I love the adding of weapons that they have coming in. I'm super excited for it.
All right, Sega says Yakuza and Persona added to their Sega PC ports.
Yes, normally like once a month or so, there's something that comes out from Sega, and I'm like, this is why I love you, Sega. Like Vanquish was probably their most recent PC port of like an older game, and from everything I've heard and seen of it, it's been a great port. Like it just runs smoothly, 60 frames easily the whole time on just about your most modest rigs. So for them, it seems like with Bayonetta being another one that they put out, and it was doing super well. They're like, you know what? Why don't we just need to start putting everything on PC eventually, because it's selling and doing really well and very well received. Yeah. And the fact that they said they are planning on doing Yakuza and Persona blows me away, because I would love to play Persona games, but I could play it on PS3 technically, but I want to give them a try, and for longevity purposes, I like getting things on PC more than anything else. So I would love it. I just want to try it, especially Yakuza, because Yakuza seems like the next step that Sega took from Shenmue. It is like the spiritual successor. It mixed with a little bit like GTA style to it, and especially with Zero that came out, kind of the start of the restarting the series in a way. I really want to play it. I really want to get into that and go around Tokyo and everything, but on my PC full blast.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing too, is it's like, sure, it's great on console, but I can run it through a Steam Link if I want that console experience, and it'll still blow away anything, the console port did. So,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and it's just anything PC. I just put everything. Like, here's my request. Look at what Sega's doing, Konami. Konami, you don't even have to make new games. I know that you're having a hard time with that, but please, just go get a team. Just develop all your old games. Just port them over to PC, please. I would love to see Metal Gear Solid 4
Yeah,
on PC.
that'd be cool. I would just like to see all the Metal Gear Solid games put out as classics.
Yeah, just do that. Even $20 a pop. I wouldn't care.
Yeah, that would be good. Castlevania. I've been thinking about this for a while. I would love to have a Castlevania bundle that has like the 16-bit, 8-bit stuff in like one collection, and you could do like the 32-bit stuff or whatever.
Right.
Like later on.
Dude, Symphony of the Night on PC. Just make it happen.
Yeah. I mean, you can make it happen now.
Right.
I'm not going to tell you how.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I mean, it's just almost... Because in a way, I kind of like to look at either you or me. Like, we're, in a way, kind of PC historians. We love going back and playing these old games. And for longevity purposes and the history of it, I like having the PC ports because I know... I mean, it's not 100% guaranteed because some crazy thing could happen. But so far, 10 years from now, I can still play my old PC games, especially with the way Steam and everything works, and you can just keep that going as long as no catastrophe happens and stuff goes away. Yeah. Just you have it forever. Yeah. And it will work. And even if it has problems working, there will be people out there figuring it out, and it will eventually work.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, people are like, what happens when Steam shuts the servers down? Wait about 6 months, everybody's going to figure out how to crack those things wide open so you can just use them.
Right, exactly.
You know, that's the thing. Steam's facilitated backups onto your own drive for a while. Mm-hmm. And so... Yeah, and Gabe Knowles always said that he has some kind of launch key or something that unlocks every game on Steam if Steam ever went down. Mm-hmm. So he said that for years. Like, if Steam was ever to dry up or whatever, he has some kind of thing that he can send out to the servers, and it hits everybody's API, and it just unlocks everything. Like, you know, turns off all the DRM and everything, apparently. So
yeah, but I don't see Steam going down anytime soon.
No. And you know what? It's still a healthy marketplace, and there's still good competition on there, and I want that competition to stay there. I don't want Steam to take everything over, because that ensures that there's lower prices on Steam, too. So. Right. But yeah, this is cool. I like the idea of this, of having this stuff ported over.
Yeah. Supposedly, they have a list in their studio somewhere. It's like, hey, we'll get this one done, and then we'll move on to the next one, then we'll move on to the next one. They just have this overarching plan of releasing ports, which I think is awesome.
I also wow, did you notice that Sega Bit's Discord server? I didn't even know Sega had a Discord server.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Anyways, I like the idea of this, and even if they like their older stuff like Sonic and whatnot, like the phone ports are awesome.
I would love
please just make those available on PC, because I want like widescreen 16:9 Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh yeah, Sonic 2 with what is it, Lost Temple or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Like, that's the other thing that kills me about Sega, is like there's no reason, like, they have the Sega Genesis collection on Steam now.
Right.
They could have started something with that and got licensees like Nintendo does for Virtual Console, and gotten other Sega Genesis games on that, or Sega CD games, or other stuff like that, and added the workshop mods and all that. So, like, as much as I love Sega, they could always do a little bit better.
Yeah, they can.
That's just a criticism. But I will say this: if anybody ever happens to see this from Sega, whoever you have making these decisions, make them the boss. Okay, and whoever's decision it was for this new Sonic game coming out, just get rid of them. Okay, just Sonic Mania. That's all we need is Sonic Mania.
I can make arguments with you on that one.
I don't know. That other one doesn't look too good.
With Sonic Forces, like I said, the creative character is a little bit needs hashing out, but the classic Sonic and even the modern Sonic played really, really well, and I enjoyed those levels a lot. I think they have modern Sonic now down to where he actually plays really well. It might have taken them 10 years, but they have finally done it.
15.
I'm not counting. Sonic Adventure to me is different.
God.
It's not quite the same. No, it wasn't until Sonic the Hedgehog 206 that they really changed the gameplay style of modern Sonic.
Sega to me is just the best, has the best direction of company so far, because they are doing everything Nintendo would not do.
Oh, they
literally. Like, hey, that's cool. You made a mod for Sonic the Hedgehog 2 where he eats onion rings and gets fat and dies. Let's put that in Workshop. That's cool.
Right. No, and also the fact that they, you can play pretty much any old Sega game for free on your phone now.
Yeah.
It's just there with the ads and stuff. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. All right, speaking of emulation, there's apparently a PlayStation 3 emulator in the works, and Persona 5 is...
Yes, apparently Demon Souls they have working on there too.
Huh.
Yeah, right now it's still pretty early, but I always thought it would be at least another generation until we got a PS3 emulator.
I thought it would be forever just because of the way the cell processor worked. I don't see even modern x86 processors being able to handle that load very easily, because that's a lot of floating point.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm curious to see how they're doing this. Are they somehow offloading that to the GPU? Or I just don't know.
Right. Yeah, I don't know how it's working either, but apparently some geniuses somewhere have figured out a way to at least get some games working properly.
Yeah.
On there. So I think the list is only like 5 games right now, but they're working on it.
The only theory I have is it must be games that didn't use the SP, or was it synergistic processing elements, SPEs?
Right, the SPEs.
Yeah, so I'm thinking it's probably games that just use the PowerPC part and didn't rely on the SPEs at all.
Yeah, I mean, if I see them get Uncharted working on there, my mind will be blown.
Yeah, because I don't know how you do that. I really don't, with the way that the architecture of that system was, because it's just like it was a very weird system where we definitely have the RAM speed now.
Oh yeah,
because that's the thing people don't realize about the PS3 is like the RAM speed was like ridiculously fast for back then. It was like 2200 megahertz or something like that.
Yeah, that was one of the things that had a little bit superiority over the 360.
Well, it had like the 2 banks that had the graphics memory for the GPU,
right?
But then they had that XFR. Thanks for the host. I think that's what that was. But the XFR was mostly for the synergistic processing elements interaction on the cell processor. That's why they needed that speed. But then there's like this weird interlink between the GPU, where the GPU talked directly to the cell processor back and forth like this. Mm-hmm. It's just like when you're dealing with a PC where the CPU and the GPU have pretty much separate data paths from the RAM. How do you fucking emulate that? I don't understand.
Right, yeah, I don't know. There's always weird emulations eventually to figure out a way. I mean, because it took forever for Sega Saturn to get emulated. It wasn't until dual processors or dual core processors became more a regular thing. And they're still wonky as hell, Sega Saturn emulators, because of their dual processors that they had. Also, for some reason, we still don't really have a good Xbox emulator, so there's that.
Well, we will on Xbox, apparently.
Yeah. And a lot of people have said it's because it's x86 emulating x86, so it works really weird, apparently.
Yeah. But hey, maybe we'll get it on PC, because he seems to be interested in bringing that over to PC. So
yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Phil Spencer. I have been so happy with your takeover.
Yeah, Phil Spencer's done a great job. I'm sick and tired of hearing everybody bitch. Why would I get an Xbox? It's on PC. Shut up and play it.
Right.
Don't get an Xbox. He doesn't want you to get an Xbox. He wants you to play it on PC. He doesn't give a fuck.
To play it. Yeah.
So
that was one of the things too I heard recently, that Microsoft had their best year in many years actually recently, because of probably Windows 10 and everything. I think Windows 10's done really well, especially
except for all the keyloggers, but that's cool.
And but overall, I think it's done really well, and I think Xbox One. I've been actually pleasantly surprised in the past year with them. So
yeah, and he's shocked me, because as soon as he came out of the gate, he fixed a lot of what people were bitching about that system, including the system.
Right.
It's like, hey, you remember that power brick that we've been dragging around for like 15 years? Fuck that thing.
Yeah. I mean, I love having the power brick because when I go out for Halloween as a Ghostbuster, I have the brick with me. Just it's right there. Just color code it a little bit and boom.
Just put some caution tape on it.
Yeah,
Like, now it's a trap.
Yep. There you go.
All right, yeah, but this is pretty cool. So I'm really curious to see how this happens.
Yeah. Wait, like maybe like a year or two. I'm curious. Yeah, see how far they get with this because
I'm really curious what the requirements for the CPU are going to be. Like honestly, because like the 18 core Intel that's coming out now is the first teraflop
right
on floating point. I don't know how. I know the Soul didn't do that much, but still it was like ridiculously high flop count for a CPU.
Right. Well.
Yeah, it was like minimum requirement Zen 8 core. You know, it's like I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised. I would say that I wouldn't be surprised if it's like minimum like an i7 or something at least.
Yeah. So we'll have to see how this plays out. All right, I just wanted to get your take on Atari Box.
Oh, okay.
I've already talked about this in a video.
Mm-hmm.
So the only thing I know about it is we know what it looks like, which I think it's sexy as hell.
Oh, I think it looks great. Both versions.
Yeah. I do not think it's going to compete with PlayStation 4 because they are saying x86, or not x86, but PC hardware.
Right.
And at some point, people were starting to theorize on this. That means Android. No, he said PC hardware.
He does say PC hardware. I just think it's going to be low end stuff. I wouldn't even be surprised if it's like APU based. I don't know if they've said whether it's AMD or Intel yet. So
I have a theory. You remember a few years ago when the Nintendo stuff was still being developed? Like it was still NX or whatever they were calling it. Yeah, and there was that rumor that was out that a third party was working with AMD on the Merlin APU, like custom Merlin APU.
Right.
Okay, Merlin APU is a quad core. It's not octa core. It's a quad core at 2.1 gigahertz to 2.4. I looked it up, and it has 8 CUs in it. So it's a bit less than an Xbox One, because I think an Xbox One's like 12 or something like that.
Right.
But it's also only a 12 to 25 watt TDP part, depending on the clock range. So you could stick it in like a pretty small box and not have to have much cooling on it. I'm wondering if that was actually Atari.
You know what? That is a great theory. It might be. Because they've been working on it for a while.
Yeah. And my theory for this, and I made a video on it already, but I just want to get your take on it, what you think. They did say in the statement it's going to be powerful enough to run their classic games and also newer games. I was thinking about what that is. Obviously, they're going for downloadable stuff here. Right. It looks like the expansion is planned to be on micro SD, so they're probably doing flash for the memory on this.
Right.
I'm thinking they're going to go for games that are like retro inspired, or possibly just like an indie box.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, with the indie box idea, like because as you said, it's not gonna be like super powerful. It's not gonna be powerful enough. But I think also I would be surprised if some stuff that is like you'll see on the Switch might be ported over to this as well. I mean, of course, not Nintendo stuff, but I'm curious to see actually what Atari does if they have plans of making anything proprietary to this, or at least making sure their new games will run on this as well.
Yeah. What if they have a new console, okay, and they go to the indie developers and say, we have a new console. Guess what? You need to patch your game? It's not going to cost you anything. Just patch your game.
Right.
And they just take the Steam route and go, we just get 5% of everything you sell in the store.
That would be,
don't worry about licensing fees or anything.
Right. I would actually think that'd be super smart of them, and actually a very high possibility, because Atari, I'm sure they're not. I mean, we all know they're not the smartest business people in the past few years. But I think they do kind of have a little bit more of a PC pedigree to them in the past few years. I would not be surprised if they are looking at Steam and how successful. Like, hey, why can't we emulate this, but on a console? Yeah. I definitely could see them doing that.
Yeah. And it's like your messaging is, hey, we're not a PlayStation. You want that, go get that. But hey, if you're somebody that likes old games and you want to play Shovel Knight, we got you on that,
Oh
Like,
man, that'd be awesome. Yeah.
like what if they do their own virtual console? They can't obviously do Nintendo stuff, but what if they go to Sega? What if they go to these other guys that made games on the Sega NESs and all this stuff, and also put those on there? Because I actually talked to quite a few retro collectors at these shows, and what I hear a lot of times is they're getting very disenchanted with the way that retro game collecting in the past couple of years has gotten very expensive.
Right.
Very, very expensive. And a lot of them have told me they're not actually fond of having all these games, but they have a nostalgia connection to them,
Right.
Nostalgia connection, and they want to play them. And I've asked them before, I'm like, if there was a way that you could emulate it, and they're like, well, if the emulation was good, like that'd be great. But they're not technically inclined or anything like that, They just want to sit down on a box and play something, like get it and play it. And maybe this is what that fills. Maybe because like you get the people that are like, oh, must have carts and hardware. And I understand those guys, but I don't think what those guys that are really hardcore about to understand is a lot of people are just in it because they want to play that old game.
Right.
So I think if they do that, like, they could be very smart about this. If it was me, I'd be doing that. I'd be going after the indie guys. I wouldn't even worry about the AAA stuff. Right. The other thing I'd be going after is Steam. I'd go to Gabe Newell. I'd be like, look, you guys got in-home streaming, and you guys got Portal and stuff, and it could run on this thing. And let's do a mutual thing, and we can be a Steam box for you.
That'd be really cool. I don't see that happening.
But at the same time, Nintendo's got that app that one third-party company's working on to make it possible to stream PC games to the Switch.
That is cool.
Yeah.
I mean, that would probably be more likely. I don't see them being actually like through Steam necessarily, but maybe a third-party way of doing it. I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I could see Valve actually working with Atari.
I could see them doing it if Atari went to them, but I just have that feeling like Atari wouldn't do that.
Yeah. The thing that's most likely going to happen is things going to come out and crash and burn.
Most likely. Yeah.
So
probably will. Yeah. We'll see. I mean, if they play their cards right, it is possible. I think it's some chance. I give them like a 10% chance this thing could be a success.
Yeah.
But it is possible if they, go after the indie markets, go after the lower end games. I mean, I could see even like Ubisoft being like, hey, here's Rayman Origins, or that style of game, I should say, or Unraveled from EA or something that could play on there. Like, hey, here you go.
One thing's for sure, nobody knows what this is for sure, but I don't think it's an Android box.
I do not think it's an Android box at all.
Yeah, like at all.
I think everyone's learned their lesson about trying to do that.
Well,
yeah, I think even Nvidia, in a way, has, even though they bumped it out. They keep trying to say they got it going still, but I'm like, there's a reason why you just decided to pretty much put your hardware into a Nintendo system.
Yeah. There's also the reason is like, hey, guess what? Android has a lot of games that work for a touchscreen, not so much for a controller. Speaking of Android boxes, SNES Classic.
Yes. Yeah, this was actually, I think since our last video, this has been announced and everything.
Yeah.
It looks great. I love the packaging and everything. It just looks exactly like the old box did. I'm curious. I think someone actually said that it shouldn't do this, but I would love it if it still turned orange after 10 years.
It won't.
I know.
They got rid of that chemical years ago.
I know. The thing is my Super Nintendo still looks pristine. It still looks just like that, but probably because I lock it up.
No, there was the later ones that were made didn't have the chemical treatment in them. So if you got it at a much later date of launch, it's possible you got one that didn't have the fire retardant shit in it.
You know what? You might be right. I didn't get it right away. It was at least a year after, maybe 2. So
yeah, there was like the later ones. I think it was 93 and after didn't have it in it, and then obviously the new smaller Super Nintendo.
Oh yeah, it's that classic style with the purple, like the fatter one. Yeah.
So, I think it's cute as hell.
It is.
I actually was talking to people about this and almost got in an argument online over it. But yes, these ports, controller ports on the front, are not the actual controller ports.
No, they're not. It flips down.
Yeah, these are like flaps that come down. It has just like the Wii style on it. So
Yes, it does. So it still works with your Wii and your Wii U. Technically, though, Switch is the new hotness, so it won't work with that. Unless they have a way to do that yet, but I don't know of one.
comes with 2 controllers.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
That is awesome. And the cord length is like double from the NES Classic. So
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so let's talk about the games real quick. What do you think about the game selection?
Overall, I don't think the game selection is quite as good as the NES, but I am happy with all of them. Still, Star Fox 2. I can't believe they're doing it. I'm actually very surprised.
So I did find out that they did nothing to Star Fox 2.
Really, they didn't do anything to it.
So there's people said that they felt like it was unfinished. Some people had said it was unfinished. When I played it years and years and years ago, it was on a test cart, and the game actually had an FPS counter because they still had their overlays and stuff for making the game. Yeah, apparently the rumor is this is exactly the same as the ROM that's been out for years.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
Which we found out, what was it, 6 months ago? Nintendo's actually, like, somebody took, like, the Super Nintendo or Super Mario Brothers ROM off the Wii U and looked at it, and it was actually one of the ones that was ripped to the internet.
Of course.
Yeah, so it wasn't actually even, like, Nintendo's own thing. They just took it off, like, some ROM site and repurposed it, apparently.
Nice.
So I wouldn't be surprised if, like, this is what Star Fox 2 is.
Okay, I mean, I know you're not a big Final Fantasy fan, but how do you feel about them still calling it Final Fantasy 3?
I mean, that's what it was called when it was a Super Nintendo.
Yeah, I know. That's kind of why I'm okay with it. It's funny. It's good to keep it that way.
I'm okay. I mean, technically, from a licensing standpoint, they would still have to call it that.
True.
Because it was licensed to the Super Nintendo that way.
Right.
Well, then you'd have to create a whole new license, which is a weird thing. Yeah, so... So far, I love that Super Mario World's on here. I'm kind of bummed that it's not Super Mario World and All-Stars.
Yeah, but then again, I think All-Stars... I'm a little more okay considering the NES Classic. But then again, considering the NES Classic, because it was hard to find, I would like to have All-Stars on this.
Yeah, exactly. That's my reasoning. Unless they re-release the NES Classic sometime soon, with those Mario games on it.
I can't see it for at least another year for them to do that.
Yeah, like that's the thing I want them to do is re-release it. Then I would be okay with it. But if they have no plans to re-release it, please put All-Stars on here, man. I mean, they're not going to now. They're obviously locked in, but there's good reasons not to have All-Stars. Apparently, they make room for all those in Super Mario World on that cart. There's things missing, like all the stages. If you go back and play the original cart of Mario World and you play the All-Stars version, the All-Stars version of World does not have parallax scrolling.
Really?
Yeah, so there's like little oddities and stuff here and there, differences between them. Mario Kart, the best one.
No.
Yeah.
Not the best one.
Yeah, it's so fun.
No.
Yeah, music's great. Yeah,
music's great, but it's not the best one.
Arguably the best Zelda.
Yes, I would even argue that. I do enjoy Link to the Past a lot, for sure. It's definitely it is peak 2D Zelda.
Yeah, it's still, in my mind, way better than any of the N64 ones.
Oh, I agree, for sure.
F-Zero, of course, gotta have that. Super Metroid 2, somebody's been playing it.
Yep.
Alright, Star Fox 2, we already talked about that. I am super happy that Street Fighter 2 is actually Turbo and not Super.
Yes. No, that is great of them. I think that is actually a big selling point. Very smart of them to do, considering it's still the fighting game, basically.
Yeah.
So I have that on there.
Yeah, Super was actually worse on the Super Nintendo than Turbo. There was some memory limitations and stuff that was going on with Super. Super had a weird issue when you'd fire fireballs that there was a frame latency going on. And anybody that was like really hardcore into Street Fighter was actually playing Turbo and practicing. Most people were playing it on arcade. They would just keep dumping quarters in the arcade version. But Street Fighter 2 Turbo is actually the closest to the arcade of all of the arcade ports on the Super Nintendo. So I'm actually really happy, and I'm just kind of curious if that's why they did it, or whatnot. Like if they actually paid attention to the fighting scene and people going like,
Right.
no, you need to have turbo, you know.
Yeah, I have a feeling they did either that or they just got really lucky and just like, yeah, throw that one on there.
Yeah. Punch Out is awesome.
Yeah, it's great. Punch Out is great. Out of the actual selection of the besides like Star Fox 2, Super Mario RPG and Earthbound, I think are probably the smartest ones to put on there because of their rarity.
Mm-hmm.
Because Earthbound is one of the most expensive games of all time, like as a collector to find. So we know how Nintendo has been in the past with giving the Mother series any love. I'm glad that they decided to do this and let the fans actually be able to play this for way cheaper than they would actually go buy the card.
Out of all these other ones, though, I'm glad that they have Mega Man X.
Yes, Mega Man X.
Instead of all the other X ones on there.
Mm.
Yoshi's Island, fantastic. The one I will kind of point out here as being weird is Secret of Mana.
It is weird. It's a good game. It's classic, but I do find that weird that they put that on there. Probably because I really don't have a good reason why they did that.
I can't imagine this box is too expensive too, and the reason that it kind of came out is that the Chrono Trigger license was really expensive.
Right.
And
that's probably more the reason.
I would just absorb the cost and just put it in there.
Yeah.
That was me, but I mean, they're still going to make a profit off of it. Yeah. Donkey Kong Country 1, I'm happy about. I know you're not.
Why wouldn't I be? I love Donkey Kong Country.
Didn't you like 2 the best, though?
No, you're thinking of Steve.
Oh, okay. No, I love Donkey Kong Country 1.
Country 1 is my favorite, yeah.
Kirby Superstar, no. Put Dream Course 3 in there, please.
Ooh, yeah, that would be a better pick.
Or not Dream Course, what was it?
Oh, crap.
Anyways, Kirby 3.
Kirby 3, yeah.
Yeah, Dream Course is fucking awesome. It should have been in there. Mm-hmm. So, pretty good selection. I feel like there should have been a couple more games in there.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It feels kind of a little bit lower than the NES, but
to me, this feels like now that they've seen what the classic does, they're gonna come out probably Volume 2.
Right.
Well, they'll just come out with another one, and they'll probably do something stupid. It's like, well, hey, America, you got the Super Nintendo, but we're gonna send you the Famicom version with a bunch of new American games on there or something. Right. So, what do you think they do after this?
Like I said, I think the smartest thing for them to do would be the NES Classic again. Let people actually get their hands on it, like last time, where they just didn't make enough for anyone. So,
which will probably have different games on it too, like licensing. I think some of the licenses would have run out.
How about this? A Game Boy Classic, but an actual portable one.
Yeah. Actually, it said that, what was that?
Yeah, I know.
We were talking about it. Everybody keeps on saying N64, but I'd rather see a Game Boy.
I think the N64, it's possible, but I think Game Boy would be better and easier and cheaper. I think for them to get Super Nintendo games running properly would be a lot more taxing, and I know how Nintendo is. Everything's 100% for profit.
How about this? A Game Boy / Game Boy Color with, say,
I would say
40 classics, say 10 Game Boy Color, mostly Game Boy, regular Game Boy, but modernize it a little bit where it has a built-in either wireless or something where instead of using a link cable, you can actually link to other classics.
Oh, like an ad hoc?
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be awesome.
You could do that pretty cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. I do think they need to re-release the NES Classic, though, really. That's what they should have done this year. Is instead of doing this, okay, it's $80 because of licensing or whatever, but you're getting an extra controller, and the controllers are longer.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been fine.
Yeah, I agree.
So anyways, pre-orders on Walmart went up, and I got duped.
Yeah, they claim it's a glitch. I want to call bullshit on that. I just think something happened. I have a bad feeling they're going to do the same exact thing, though it's still going to be way under expectations for selling.
They made one more than they did last time.
No, we totally heard you guys, and we are making more. One more. Maybe two. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, because like the classic came out of someplace weird like Germany.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Yeah. So maybe it's just the manufacturer couldn't handle it. I don't know. But like, I know they're trying to crank out Wii's and stuff. So there's this
Switches.
Yeah. Actually, I'm gonna find this real quick. So just bear with me, guys.
Filler.
Yeah.
But I think there was something to do, with the manufacturing contract though of the NES, which kind of halted that. I heard there was actually some kind of legitimate use or legitimate thing of why there wasn't as many. Or by the time they figured out, oh crap, we're selling way more than we thought, the contract ran out or something.
Here, I'll put this in the description of the video for anybody that watches this on YouTube later. But I'm going to put this in the chat too. Well, I don't think there's anybody there, but there we go. So this is a video that the channel Beat 'em Ups did about this whole thing. And recently there was also Think Geek released a bunch of bundles of the original NES Classic.
Yes.
With a bunch of their crap.
Yeah.
And they went and looked around, and these guys are supposed to be like these liquidators that sell things on Amazon.
Right.
And somehow this one guy gets this email because he runs a store, this Castlemania game store. He gets these emails of liquidators that want to sell things. And this one liquidator sent him an email with actual photographic proof, and this is a pretty interesting video, where he had on hand, just for this month, 750 Nintendo and NES Classics that somehow he just got. Just sitting around. And he had something like 320 Switches. Like, why is a liquidator holding on to those?
Like, liquidate, man. Get rid of those.
Yeah, but liquidation's usually for the stuff that you can't get rid of. Like, the whole idea is they're supposed to buy stuff like really cheap and sell it cheap and still make a profit.
Yeah, that is very odd.
Yeah.
I think Nintendo was holding out on us, man.
So the story is Think Geek is very much attached to GameStop. And they're thinking GameStop has been holding stock, knowing that it would be a hot item and waiting for later to sell a lot of this stuff at a higher price.
Sell it at a high price.
Yeah. So they're thinking this liquidator got a lot of his stock from the same places. He probably bought it at actually a higher price than the normal MSRP even.
Higher price.
But he's buying it and able to sell it for $250.
I believe that.
Yeah. I mean, that just kind of pisses me off that somebody's got 750 of these things.
I know, so many.
Yeah. So, anyways, good video. You guys should check that out.
Yeah. I still overall blame Nintendo for all of it.
Yeah. Yeah. They should have made more.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Polymega. We haven't talked about this in a while. Nope. They just added more disc support. So now it's PlayStation 1, which was originally announced in Sega CD, Turbo Duo, which is the TurboGrafx CD, and Neo Geo CD.
Right. That's awesome.
I mean, this is cool, but at the same time, discs are going to bit rot eventually. I guess the good news is, besides the PlayStation, really, like, the rest of these are all unprotected. You could just burn them if you could find a CD to burn.
That is very true.
So, I don't know. Like, when it comes to all this
I mean,
stuff,
I've heard it's very easy. But I've only heard.
I'm really curious. I want to know more. I know this is guys that used to work at, not Naughty Dog, Spyro Dragon guys.
Insomniac,
thank you. God.
You're welcome.
Old brain. But so far they only have these 4 pieces here. Genesis, which actually does support 32X cards.
Nice.
TurboGrafx, I love that. I just love the slot loading little credit card thing. I want to collect those so bad. And they actually have 2 controller ports.
Right.
Super Nintendo. And then obviously the slot loading is just whatever. And it will have also its own controller now, that's what the controller looks like, which is actually, I think, looks comfy.
No, I think it looks awesome. I mean, they just kind of followed the the PS4 style, which the PS4 is. It's amazing how it still feels like a PlayStation controller, but more comfy.
Yeah, yeah.
Just
I think this is
helps.
I think this is cool. It has a turbo built in.
Yeah, it has a turbo.
I think that's cool as hell. So, as excited as I am for the NES Classic, I'm almost a little bit more excited for this because not only can you get like real carts and play them and stuff like that, but it actually has ability so you can stream to YouTube or Twitch off the console.
Right.
Which is awesome. So you can play classic games that way. And it's just like, and this whole idea that they're actually, if the Atari box is true, like I'm wondering how much this will eat into it because they're not really doing the classic games,
right,
per se. In the store, they are going to support newer games. They said it has the power to be able to run newer stuff, but it'll be interesting because anything that goes on something like the NES or anything or SNES or anything goes on the Atari has to be licensed,
right,
and sold on store online. This you can find any cart and just stick it in there.
Very true.
So I don't know. That's kind of interesting. I'm waiting to see what. For me right now, I'm more interested. And I think the latest thing that was said is there is an SD card slot on here. And you can actually just rip the ROMs. Or, if you have the ROMs, probably just put them on there and just run them off this machine. So, I don't know. We'll see. I'm kind of curious if that's going to get into like a legal gray area too.
Yeah, that is very shady. But, I mean, it's not technically on them about all that stuff. It's just, hey, it can do it.
I really like the UI too. I think the UI looks really good.
Yeah, it's very simple, very sleek. Yeah. Also black.
Yeah.
Or at least really dark.
Yeah,
I hate white UIs. Sorry, Twitch.
Yeah. That's why better Twitches would not be anything without Twitch would not be anything with better Twitch TV. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to this. I'm going to keep an eye out and hear what they say more about it. If it turns out that it will support cards, but then you can also just throw ROMs on there, I might just get it. And it'll be like one of those instances, like, it'll give me a chance to try something out before I buy it.
Oh, also another call out for Konami. Port Snatcher, please. The Sega CD one. Just do it. Please. You have all this great old catalog. Just do it.
You know what I wanted them to do a couple years ago was port Snatcher to the DS and then all the light gun parts be on the touchscreen.
Yeah, actually.
Or the Wii. The Wii would have been cool because you could do all the light gun parts with the Wii remotes.
I know. Oh, dude, I was saying that when the Wii came out. I'm like,
yeah,
Snatcher would be so perfect.
Yeah. Anyways,
even Switch, you could do it. Just touchscreen, just pop. If you're using it.
I find this thing interesting though. So, you have any desire to learn more about this, or?
Oh yeah, I mean, no, it looks awesome. For me personally, because the way I have everything set up, it's not something I don't know. I mean, even then, because I do have boxes full of just old carts and stuff, and it'd be nice to play, legitimately those a lot easier on a modern screen. And I mean, I still have an old CRT that I have my Genesis and stuff hooked up to, because that's the way you gotta do it. Yeah. But it'd be nice, to be able to play on a big on screen.
What if they said you can take your webcam, plug it into the back of this thing, just put your card in and stream to Twitch?
That'd be neat. That'd be awesome.
And that'd be cool. I mean, that'd be badass. Not that we can't do that with a PC. It's just kind of fucking neat.
Yeah, it is cool.
All right, this one I'm kind of excited about. New 2DS or new 2DS XL. I love the blue.
Yes, the blue and black.
Yes.
Great color scheme.
For me, it's the first DS where they actually fixed the problem.
We're a little bit biased, if you can't tell.
I love this, like, 1980s. Like, that's what it looks like to me. It's like 1980s electronics.
Yeah, it does.
Like, the old computers and stuff that always had, like, those cooling vents that were slanted like that. The thing I really love is the screens are finally recessed in. Yes. So the bottom screen is not touching the top screen, causing that stupid scratching. That every fucking 3DS had.
Yep.
Except for the last 2DS, because it was a slate.
Yeah, which I have. Which was funny, because the other day I was going through my boxes because I was looking for something. And I haven't used my 2DS in like a year. And I was just going through there, and I must have accidentally hit something, because it just turned on, and it was still freaking powered up. I'm pretty sure. I still haven't. This is proof. I promise I have not charged this thing in over a year. Is that up yet?
Wait, it's the original one. It's slow.
This is the original 2DS, but yeah, there it goes.
Wow.
I don't remember the
That's
last time
crazy.
I played this. Yeah, still working.
Yeah, that does look cozy to me though. That design.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, I like this one a lot. I mean, that probably a little bit better for traveling around with.
mm-hmm.
I like the making the screen bigger and everything, and adding the nipple to it.
Yeah.
It's a great. I think it's a very great design for what
Use
I'm
of the
guessing
stick.
is the fading years of the 2/3DS line.
Yeah. So you know my story about the original 3DS I had, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I got it and it scratched and it scratched and it scratched and it got sent to Nintendo 3 times. And they were really good about it. They repaired it every single time. But I just I cannot get past it. I don't like my screens being super scratched, especially the play screen, the main screen.
Right.
Like the touch screen's okay, you know.
Yeah, it's a touch screen.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, it was just like I just returned it, and it was like when it first came out, like I was like one of the ambassadors for the thing, you know. So I paid the $250 for it when it came out.
Right.
But now my thought is, first of all, they fixed this. Actually, does come with a charger now, which is nice. You don't have to pay for a stupid.
Pay for
charger.
an extra charger. Yeah.
I really don't care about the 3D. There's no games that really use the 3D at all. Like they use it, but it's not like pertinent
Not a
to
big
the
deal,
gameplay.
right.
Yeah. And then the other thing is about this, it's the newer hardware. The charge is still kind of shitty from what I hear, though. I hear it takes just as much time to downcharge as it does to charge it back up. And then the other thing is they fixed the issue, and now we have an entire library of DS games, of 3DS games. Plus the DS games still work in this.
Right. Of course.
So I'm really considering picking one of these up for myself and going back and trying to play those because I'm starting to get into the mind. I really want to Switch, especially now we're at a point now where there's more Switch games I'm interested in already than I've ever been in PS4 and stuff, right? And so,
and you can carry it around.
You can carry it around, but at the same time, it's going to take a while for the library to fill up.
Right.
And the way I see it is like maybe the best time to get on Nintendo if you're not like needing to play it right now is towards the end of the life cycle.
Yeah, because it finally has a library.
It has a library. The hardware is much better. It's cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the hardware is always better towards the tail end on Nintendo stuff.
Right. Especially with what they've been doing with the DS line, because the later one they always do a little bit of a bump to the hardware, performance-wise.
Yeah, like really, honestly, to me, like the original DS library got the best when the DSi was out. And if I was smart, I would have waited until the DSi came out and just got a DSi, which I did get anyways. But yeah, but I'm seriously considering it. It's not too pricey, and there's a lot of good games, and Metroid's coming out soon. I'm a Metroid nut. So yeah.
Right too.
Yeah.
Legit one.
You already have a DS, but would you get one of these?
If I didn't have this, I totally would.
Yeah.
I don't really. The thing is I'm not a big handheld person. So
Yeah.
I mean that's the part of the whole problem. I barely touch this thing. So otherwise, yeah, I would.
Do you just feel like the Switch is a better overall way for you to go?
For me, it would. For me, it would be because I'd rather play stuff at home. But I love having that ability to take it on the go if I really wanted to continue something.
Yeah.
And from what I hear with the Switch, it's not like the battery life is very good on it. So I feel like it'd be more for those situations.
So I have a friend that actually has it, and he says games like Zelda, not so much, but he plays Master Blaster Zero on it for like 6 hours straight.
Yeah, the classic games. Yeah, I heard.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they said. It would vary depending on how much power it needs.
Yeah. All right, something I want to talk about just because this is my last thing of the night. I'm just excited for this, and I'll tell you why. This is SteelSeries' new headset. It's the Artis 5. They actually have a 3 and a 7. I haven't seen the 7 yet. I haven't messed with it. Don't give a shit about the 7.1 surround sound at all. Just don't.
Right.
So it's a headset that's USB plugged in. It has nice flashy RGB crap if you care about that. It has these really stylish...
I don't have mine turned on right now.
Has these really stylish headbands for whatever reason. But here's the thing that I miss about console headsets. Every console headset I've ever had, where it was like the Tritons, Astros, or the PlayStation ones, had a setting. Oh, yeah, your head's on fire. had a setting on them where you could adjust the game audio to the voice audio. And it was just very nice. You just go in and do it. You're playing with your friends or whatnot, and you don't have to worry about, messing around with, like, Windows settings or any of that stuff. It's just a quick slider, right?
Mm-hmm.
They finally have that on PC. This has a sound card that literally has a dial that says game, voice, and you can just do it. And I'm so excited to have that because that is like one of the best features that until it's gone, awesome. You don't know that you wanted it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, this is $100. It's a little bit much for what I think it is, but
I don't think it's not a bad price, at least, though. $100 is swingable.
Yeah.
I mean, it's some of these things that are not even as good a quality as what SteelSeries puts out, and they charge double, not more.
Yeah. So. But then you do have the clouds out there, and the clouds are built like audio-grade headphones.
Right.
For the same price. But I'm seriously considering it just because I want that feature so bad on PC. I'm just like...
Click.
Yeah. Yeah, that is something for me. And apparently the microphone doesn't sound like crap, which is another nice one.
Right. I'm not on my microphone for this, and for good reason.
Oh, you're on your Snowball. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I might have to get one of these just because when I go to, like, events and stuff. And really, honestly, if it has that feature, I'll probably end up using it all the freaking time. Like, these will probably blow it away compared to, like, audio quality, but... Right. If I'm just sitting down and gaming, especially if I'm communicating with people, I just want to sit there and reach over and go, I can't quite hear you. Okay, now I can.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, fantastic. Great. It's not going to fix it for streaming, but,
Right.
Can't all be perfect. All right. So, yeah, I just was excited about that when I talk about it. I wish I was big enough to get a review sample of this in, but unfortunately.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So, I think that's pretty much everything we went through today.
Mm-hmm.
We BS'd a lot.
Yes.
And now I have to put it on YouTube.
Yes, you will.
God damn it. All right. So anyways, everybody watching this, I think we're probably doing... it's up to Joe whenever he wants to do it now. It's pretty much the way I left it to him.
Yeah. I want to get into doing this more, for sure, at least once a month. I would like to start doing it like every other week, roughly.
Yeah. How's your internet there right now?
Pretty good. Got it pretty much figured out. I figured out a little while ago. So.
Okay. So I think what's going to happen since I have this new PC now, I'll probably host the shows until Joe gets his upgrade. You've been on that i7 forever and a day, dude.
Yeah, I know. I mean, the thing is, it's still kicking. There's very few times I've had any problems with it, but. Yeah. It is getting old. I think it's mostly on the motherboard side that I've been having some slight problems recently. So, but
hey,
yes.
Me too, and it's brand new.
Yeah. So, yeah, I do plan on next month, probably later next month. Yes, I will be finally upgrading to a brand new computer. I got a lot of stuff to pick out. So.
Any ideas on parts yet?
Oh, yeah. I am going to go Ryzen 7 1700X.
Same CPU I have.
Yeah, I know. Probably, I'm gonna go say liquid cooling and everything. A Asus Prime motherboard.
Oh, the B350.
The X370.
X370. I hear those are good boards, the Primes.
Yes, and then probably a PNY for the memory. I'm gonna keep my hard drives and everything that I have right for now.
You just gonna move the video card over?
Move the video card over. Okay. And in a brand new case, which I can't remember off the top of my head right now.
It was like a BitPhoenix, wasn't it?
I believe it was a BitPhoenix.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So that'd be cool. Maybe you should do like a build or something.
Yeah. Probably try to.
Yeah, because like it's gotten to the point now with like the apps on the phones and stuff. I can just do like a build video. Just put this on like a tripod or something, and film it if I want to. So, yeah, that'd be cool. Like, if you have, like, an afternoon, you want to sit down and whether stream it to the YouTube channel or something like that, just for fun. I'd sit around and watch it. I like PC stuff.
Yeah, and just me fiddling around with it and then watch something not work and me just sitting there going, fuck!
Is my box still here? Yeah, my box is still here. I'm going to go on, and Joe's, like, building his computer, and he's, like, pulling out his nice Ryzen box, and then he, like, goes like this and goes...
Oh,
That new CPU smell.
it has risen.
And he'll probably use that thing for another 10 years or whatever.
Probably. I try to get as much use out of it as possible.
Yeah, didn't you have like a Pentium 4 before this last one?
I had a Pentium Extreme Edition. I had that for quite a while. That was the 3.73
Yeah.
Pentium dual core.
Yeah. So you make pretty significant jumps when you actually do.
When it goes to CPU, yes. When it's GPU, I normally like every 2-3 years.
Yeah.
And I go pretty hardcore with that.
Yeah. All right, man. I'm excited for you. Can't wait until you get it.
I'm excited too.
Until that's up and going, when he finally gets that up and going and stable, I'm going to force him to start hosting the shows and set them up and stuff.
Right.
But yeah, we're gonna call it for now. We'll see you guys whenever we do another one of these. Probably when more news piles up and stuff. You know, it's really just a place for us to come and talk about it.
Right. Because especially for this past month, because it was E3, which was our last show.
Yeah.
And then there's been pretty much what we talked about today is the only things that have happened this past month. There's not a huge lot. Because it always seems that way too. Because that's just how it is. Everyone gets all their stuff ready for E3, and then it's not. They have nothing for a while.
And right now, it'll probably be on this channel. When Joe starts hosting it, I'm gonna force him to start streaming this on his channel. But we encourage you guys to come out, join us live on Twitch. Right now, it's on Soul Processing on Twitch. But when we make a switch, I'll announce that. Or we can go back to YouTube. We'll discuss that later.
I'm actually going to physically make a switch. Screw you, Nintendo. I'll make my own.
God, that was such a dad joke.
I know.
And anyways, instead of wasting you guys' time anymore, have a great evening. Be kind to each other. All that gobbledygook. And we'll see you later.
Enjoy.